Hi, everybody. Welcome to Fat Product Review. I'm so excited today. We're going to talk about horseback riding. I am a person of size. I've been fat since the third grade. When I was a kid, I used to love to go horseback riding. My friend Tracy had a horse, Majesty and Cinnamon, and we used to be able to ride together. And I was fat then. I'm a lot fatter now. And I'm just worried, can I still ride horses? And so Erin's here from Tinyhoof, and she's going to tell us all about riding horseback as a person of size. And she's going to also tell us how to find her business on Instagram and Facebook. And I'm going to turn it over to Erin because we're having a little bit of audio problems. And we notice when one of us talks more, the audio problems go away. So Erin, tell us all about you.
Hi everybody, I'm Erin and I am a riding instructor and owner of Tinyhoof Horsemanship. I'm located in Pittsburgh, Oregon, and my Facebook is facebook.com/Tinyhoof. I am also Tinyhoof on Instagram. I have a writing program that focuses on building good relationships with horses, and I am pretty accepting of everybody regardless of organization, size, fatness, skinniness, you name it. I think that my personal motto is what's best for everyone, and that is absolutely true. Whether or not we ride them is up to us, but our journeys are what make horseback riding special for us. So that's what I like to promote for my riders.
Most of my life, I've been concerned, like if I've been on vacation or whatever, and people are like, let's go horseback riding. I'm like, I'm concerned that I'm going to hurt the horse. I would never want to hurt the horse. It would just seem like such a vain thing for me to do. So do I need to worry about that?
No. I think that for the most part, if you are, wanting to go on a trail ride and you are in touch with someone understands horses and their physicality, then they will try to match it with a horse that is appropriately sized for your body. That is something that I try to do, which is why I had 7. Because personalities matter, but also body type and size matters. And so if I can find a good pair in there, then I know that I'm not hurting the horse. That I'm presenting like a fat rider. It's fine. The harder part, I think, is just the stigma around it and trying, like a lot of, horse rental places and stuff like that have these limits. And it's like, we just so arbitrary. I'm 5'10" and I weigh 270 pounds. That's just the size that I am. But that size is different compared to somebody else who might be shorter, and so it's hard to do weight limit stuff like that because you can't really make a decision about what that looks like. You have to
I think like most limitations that people put on fat bodies, it's so arbitrary and so just like pulled out of somebody's ass. So nobody has any idea how they came up with this particular standard. I guess one thing I might be worried about is fitting into a saddle. But I remember when I was a kid, sometimes we would just ride on a blanket with some places for our feet. Do I have to worry about some saddles are not going to fit my butt and my thighs. There's just no way.
They make them pretty big, actually.
Okay.
So I'm a member of a couple different communities on Facebook, and one of them is like, hey, riders. And they love to see my community doing what they love. If you're hurting your horse, and I know that there's some talent, and I don't mean for it to, but if you're hurting your horse, you're home. And most of us have the capacity to listen in some way to our animals and the things that we love. But saddle-wise, yeah, they make saddles as big as 18 or 20 feet long as it fits on your horse's back. Your body will certainly fit in a saddle. And I have quite a variety because I do have quite a bit of different size riders. So I like to offer that too. Like, you fit here, things fit you here. There's also been a really cool uprising in the clothing community, and now we have a lot of plus size offerings for clothes, which is awesome. When I was a kid, I had to ride in old hand-me-down stuff and never could look like current or fashionable because that was just not offered for people of my size. Everyone that rode when I was young was 100 pounds, just didn't, and that was what was promoted in the shows and things that we did. And so now it's really cool. I can go online and buy a pair of riding shoes and buy 40 minutes if I want to, and they make them, and they're comfortable, and they fit my body. That's weird.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Where is your business?
We're located in Newburgh, Oregon, about 6 minutes outside of Portland.
Very cool. Wow. So how much does a horse typically weigh?
It really depends on the horse. An average horse probably weighs about 1,200 pounds.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
So graceful and beautiful, you know. I always think it's funny when people try to put me down by comparing me to a large animal, and I'm like, hippos are beautiful, horses are beautiful, cows are beautiful. Like, why am I offended by that?
I know. Like, I wish that I could run and turn on a dime and look absolutely beautiful doing it. Thank you for comparing me as such.
Exactly. Yeah, it's so amazing. So, are people riding horses again? Like, is it a thing again? Like, do people own horses? It's a lot to own a horse and put them up somewhere, right?
Yeah, the cost of ownership of a horse is a huge privilege, and something that I also spend a lot of time working towards for people. A lot of my students are ponies, a lot of my students are underprivileged, and a lot of my students are people who I've been there. I can barely afford the horse I have now, but I do because you know, it's a healthy piece. But yeah, it's really expensive and hard to access as a hobby. So I do a lot of outreach for our community so that we can get people in here and able to experience that. I think that not only do horses teach you a lot, like we can learn a lot from them and they learn from us, and the back and forth, the conversation there is really important. And most of us don't get the opportunity to have that ever.
Oh,
There are a lot of people interested in riding horses right now. It's one of the few like really safe COVID activities to participate in. I don't need to be within 50 of my students hardly ever, and it's really just the kids that need covering. But if we're all masked up, hopefully it's okay. Yeah, ownership has been a little interesting.
that I think when you own a horse, they really get into your heart, right? I mean, it's like any pet, but I mean, I haven't ridden or thought of those horses since I'm 52 now, and I was like 12 at the time, and like I just popped off their names like right away. I can't believe I even remember them, but it's when their eye contact when you're like communicating with them, it's weird. It's like you really are communicating.
Yeah, the
Art.
cool thing about horses is that they don't communicate with words. They just communicate with their body language and their feelings. And I know that it's like we talk about energy, but energy and the mind is very important. If I come here and I don't feel good, the chances that I'm going to be able to communicate with my horse in a way that makes sense to him are probably a little bit less than if I felt great that day.
Yeah.
And they know that, and they can feel that, and a lot of times my horse will help me feel better. And that's truly like the therapy aspect of it is I always ask my students who are therapy deniers, they're like, and I'm like, you know what do you think about when you're here? And they say nothing. And I say, it's therapy.
Right. Yeah.
I have to think about the only thing I have to think about right in that moment. And it's them. And that's really cool that they found out like that.
What's your horse's name?
His name is Jackson.
I love it.
He's
What kind of horse is he?
a Mustang. Um, I thought for my 31st birthday it would be really fun for me to adopt a wild Mustang, and that's what
Good for you.
it was a really great idea. It taught me a lot about my emotional boundaries and like where I let my emotions affect me to him. So it was an interesting winter last winter where I learned how to control my emotional response to my horse, but it was really good for me, not only here, but in my actual life as well.
Yeah. When you're riding the horse, they're paying attention to your body language and how you squeeze your thighs or how you move or how you they're very in tune with what if you're off balance or yeah, if you're feeling angry or mad at them or yourself. And they definitely they're reading your body, I think, the whole time you're on.
That's how they talk to each other is via
Yeah.
their body. And so the first thing that I teach my students is that in order to be effective leaders, what we need to do is move their feet. Because the horse that is the leader of all of the other horses moves the other horses' feet. And so I teach my students never to let the horses move their feet and to only move the horses' feet. And I don't know if that makes sense to someone who's not riding horses currently. But basically, if they take a step and I wanted them to be standing 2 steps away from the step they took, I'll put them back to where I thought they should be. And that is me saying, I am your leader. And the way I'm explaining it makes me feel like I'm being, rude, but it really is empowering to be able to tell a 1,200-pound animal, like, please stand right there. I love you. I need you to, but please stand right there so I can do what I need to do. And then have the patience and the mental fortitude to deal with that, and that is not what happens. I feel like horses definitely teach us a
Yeah. I remember what we would do is we'd have this sort of like pre-riding ritual where we, brush the mane, brush the tail, prep for the pad, giving the horse lots of love and like, kissing its neck and stuff and like, getting it to trust you and love you because he or she knows you're getting ready to put a pad on them and go for a ride. And so you had to spend some time. And then after the ride, you also have to spend some time doing the same thing again and checking the hooves and pulling out any gunk in the hooves. And like, it was a lot of work before and after, but it was so worth it.
Right? That's one of my other favorite things about horses. I think everything about horses is my favorite thing. I've been a live or die by the horse girl since I was 5 years old.
Wow.
And only ashamed of it for a brief time when I was a teenager, but now I just kind of live in it. Like I have 7 horses and I'm here all the time. But yeah, I love that horses are kind of like fake exercise. Like I'm doing a whole lot of physical activities, but my body doesn't recognize that or register that as physical activities because I'm having fun. And I love that about horses. Like,
Very zen, right? Just zen out.
it is. As soon as I get here, I have to forget about whatever is affecting me in my daily life and try to focus on them because they don't understand about politics or weird things or bad things or they just are horses. They just want to interact with me in that moment. They only respond to what's happening to them right now. They don't remember what happened to them last. You know?
I think it helps you to be very present, right? Because you have to pay attention to what's going on too. You can't be like, oh, you know, I'm thinking back to when I was a teenager and riding and stuff, sometimes we do stupid things like I grew up in Las Vegas, ride for too long, and then we or the horses would get dehydrated just because we were being stupid teenagers. And, like you have to worry about other riders and traffic, and you have to stay present. You can't just be like all floating around in your brain. You have to be kind of like here and present in the moment. And that's hard for me. It's a good exercise.
Me too. I'm very scattered as a person. My parents had me tested for ADHD 3 times when I was a kid, and I didn't have it. But my brain is just like boo, 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 boo. And also, I'm an incredibly loud person. I'm an extrovert. I take up a lot of space physically in my presence and also in my personality. And it's hard to be loud around horses if they're not used to that. It freaks them out. All of my horses are excellent with loud people because I am loud all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, the focus part of that is very interesting and it's helpful to a lot of people. They almost kind of force you to focus just on them because if you don't pay attention for 1 second, then something is going to happen and Lord knows what that is. Yeah, I really like that they ground us into the weather.
Yeah.
Not a lot of sports. Maybe, I don't know. I don't think so.
I remember that friend had a dog too, and the dog would just love to be with us and, in the corrals and stuff. And the horses seemed to love this dog, and this dog would walk with us, or we would start loping. Is that the word?
Okay.
Loping. We start loping. The dog would start loping with us, and it all seemed like they were all having so much fun. It was so cute.
Yeah, they do a good job interacting with other animals in almost the same way that they interact with each other. Some horses hate dogs. I have a couple that do. But for the, like, I bring my dog out all the time, and it's great. They're all very gentle with her and make sure that they're not going to actively step on her. Yeah, I like that they kind of have an interaction there for sure. They do a lot of nose laughs.
I think what a lot of people know about horses, like what we see on like dramatic TV shows, like horses like bucking and kicking you, and you have to be. I know you're not supposed to stand behind the horse, right? I understand that. It's probably just like logic, but I think there's a lot of misinformation out there because people just don't know. Most people have never really been around or ridden a horse. But like, what are the misconceptions that people have about horses that you can think of that are like so ridiculous?
Let's see some of the things people have asked me. Are they all stallions? No. Have babies. That was a good one. Yeah, actually, not speeding behind them is kind of a misconception. Sometimes I have. If I want to brush their tail and make it beautiful, I can grab their tail and get over to the other side. But I have an arsenal of lesson horses their job is to be surrounded by children and adults and then mauled with love. So they know that they are not supposed to hit. It's really horses can't see all the way around their whole body. They can see very close all around the whole body. Right directly in front of their face and then right directly behind their body, they can't see us. So if you were to come up behind a horse and running at full speed right at their tail, they They
Yeah.
want action. They want to be told that they're good. They want to do the right thing. When I teach my lesson students about riding, it is all in question and answer form. So like we ask the horse a question, whether it's can you turn left, can you turn right, can you stop, and we expect the horse to give us an answer. And their answer might not always be the right one.
Right.
But that's basically the way that I use communication because it makes sense for people. Other misconceptions about horses. They're really gross. They're beautiful and majestic and wonderful, but to love a horse, you need to be the kind of person that gets absolutely filthy because they live outside and they're gross. And I love when people say, like, oh, they're so majestic and beautiful. Half the time when I see them out there, they're all running and their legs are every direction and they're farting and bucking. And, you know, I'm like, what's farting, bucking is beautiful? Yeah.
Yeah, and you have to be ready to deal with a lot of poo.
A lot of poop. I'm very lucky I have students that will work their lessons off. I like to be able to offer that for people that don't have the money to pay for lessons. I'll have them help us clean up all the poop. Kids love it. It's like a big litter box.
As long as you have a good pair of boots, you're going to be fine, right? You just need those good boots.
100%.
I remember when we like what we I was taught then is like if you do need to get behind the horse, like you want to brush the tail, you want to clean out their hoof, like you just have to like touch them, like let them know you're here, like run your hands along them. Hey, I'm coming back here now. I'm gonna and then just kind of touch their leg all the way down, just so they know. You kind of like it's like a massage therapist. Like they try to keep their hands on you. You're like trying to keep your hands on the horse, and they're pretty amenable. I don't think that you don't want to like jump behind them and we surprise them. That's a bad idea.
Totally. But yeah, for the most part, they're pretty cool with us being in their space.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, it seems like you remember a whole lot about the horses that you rode and all of the rules that go along with that. Are you a super horse girl?
I mean, I live in the city. I live in San Jose, so there's not really a lot of options around here. But it was such a great experience, and I did it for many years. We used to do like they used to call it gymkhana, where they would do like barrels and then so we have to get up really early and get the horse in the trailer. We had to her parents made us do all the work, so it's very vivid, like hands-on memory because it was, and I also was like 12, 13, 14, those ages. It was beautiful. I loved it. And it was the desert, it's hot, so it was very always we had to be careful. We had to ride early. Um, they would let us go, the two of us, on the horses and go ride alone, which that was cool.
Yeah, I feel like parents are definitely more helicoptering of their children
Yeah,
than we were when we were kids. Um, Sounds like whoever you knew that had horses had great parents, though. They made you do all the work. It was important. I am from an affluent area in Southern California, not San Jose, but I'm from Orange County, and I grew up, showing horses with girls who I knew and who paid other people to do their jobs for them. And I feel like one of the most important things I learned about horses is that I could do that all myself. All of the hard work that goes into that is much more rewarding than it is to offload it onto somebody else.
yeah.
And yeah,
I used to love it when it was like we got to feed them. I was like, oh, we get to go do that, and it was exciting. I loved it. So great. Thank you so much for helping us to sort of, poop on the misconceptions that fat people can't ride horses. We are allowed to ride horses, everybody. And yeah, I think it's just one of those myths that people assume, and oh, you're gonna break the horse's back. I'm like, horses are so muscular and strong. I just can't imagine that. But we sometimes we believe what the media tells us, right? Unfortunately. So tell everybody your website and your Instagram and all that again, so they can find you and follow you. 'Cause I'm sure some horsemen will be out there and they'll be like, heck yeah.
yeah, anybody is welcome out here. I will meet anybody. I think that it's always really good to be in this environment and able to experience horses and all of the things that they give us. My website is tinyhoofhorsemanship.weebly.com. And my Instagram is instagram.com/tinyhoof. And Facebook is the same, /tinyhoof as well. It's pretty easy to find.
Awesome. I'm so excited that I forget who put us in touch with each other, but I'm like, this is something I really want to cover. We covered skateboarding for fat people already. So now we're covering riding horses as a fat person. I think that's awesome. And it's very healing, right? And very therapeutic. And I think it's a cool thing for anybody to try and maybe even make it a hobby of theirs if they can afford it.
had programs for that.
Yeah, I'm
Really
sure.
supportive, you know, come to
Yeah,
Denver. If you're ever in town and you want to ride a horse with me.
I will be there for sure. Thanks, Erin. Erin, nice to meet you.
It was nice to meet you too. Thank you for interviewing me.
My pleasure. Take care.